So back at Kincardine, the Star Fort, Kincardine, these skyscrapers are gone now, but there's modern houses here put in place. But back to the map, you'll notice this sort of triangular shape, and there's a lot more lines, alignments on this map now. I'm trying to add bit by bit and I don't want to overwhelm people, but you can see here there's a triangle which takes in the golf club and the castle, and this path here pretty much runs in line with this line. You can see that it continues, or it did continue at one time even here, and possibly onwards, going over some important areas like industrial units and power stations and so forth, and continuing on over Bowness, which was in the Canal Estate, which is very important because the Canal Estate was a large factory. The Canal Castle, or the Canal House, was some machine in itself. So very important, some of the mounds that it travels over. And this is Tullyallan, and you can see here what we were looking at previously, what I was referring to as the rising of the sun and the setting of the sun, east to west. What we have here is a north-west to southeast alignment. This part here, this island, is completely man-made. The original coast would have been back here somewhere, where you can see these lines. And these lines up here would have been the original coastline. Much of this has been claimed back from the sea, drained, and water levels have actually went down, and the Starfort sat high up on the mounds. The Starfort here, high up on the mounds on a pillar in water. And we know from places like Wikipedia and other such sites online that Tullyallan Castle actually had a moat surrounding it, and all this here was a great waterway at one point, which would have of course been connected to the lock at the back, which I mentioned in a previous video. And this line here from Tullyallan Castle, of course very important because it goes through certain areas in Fife, such as Blair Hall, touching on another Star Fort. I don't want to get lost in what is and what is not a Star Fort, but there's quite a lot of sacred alignments here. We have the White Glass pub, or the White Gates. I believe that this area here was the glass. Be something different I'm thinking of. Blair Tower, another large quarry, possibly the body of a giant again, maybe some sort of creature. Who knows, but these were vast waterways behind here, and there's still some bodies of water left, which are still visible. Cows strand and burn, a giant mound of some sort. The cow, the great cow, the Milky Way, body of water behind it there. Lots of quarrying has went on there, lots of forestation. Oak Lay, the word lay. Carnock, Gauk Hall. This is the valleys I was actually thinking of here. Quite a lot of stuff going on here. going through Cowdenbeath. This is an area that I haven't really visited much on the far east coast, but yeah, the east coast of Scotland. Most people who travel Scotland for some reason tend to avoid this Kinross, probably because the E96 takes you up by Perth and then around. So a lot of people actually miss this. If you live in Inverness or you live in Argyllshire, over this way, if you live in Grampians, you go that way. If you live in the Aberdeen area, you go and you miss this area. But there's a lot to be seen here, and I have lots to map still. So Kirkcaldy, Glenrothes. So this is Tullyallan. Quite a lot of lines, but this is especially what I wanted to look at, this alignment here and this A-frame sort of triangle. Give it a moment to, there we go, and you can see here right through the golf club this alignment. So where does the alignment go? Pyramid sort of there, and you have the graveyard, the place of the dead, sitting at the top of the pyramid. But where does this northwest alignment go? It goes through the graveyard, it goes through the large Charge Place, Scotland. These are very popular for the ley lines to go through. It crosses what looks like an old waterway, which would have fed into this area here and fed down here. Of course this is all industrialised now, but this would have been an ancient waterway. There are still bodies of water here, there and everywhere, and of course the power lines and electrical pylons are always very near the energy lines. So this ley line continues on. It's quite interesting, this one actually, because Tullyallan, the police headquarters, is connected to the very north of Scotland. Following this line northwest, it takes us straight to the Callanish stones. And for those who do not know about the Callanish stones, these are probably the most significant stones and probably the most well-known stones in Scotland. It's like a Celtic cross, or an upside-down cross, some people say, and you can see the standing stones and the sockets of the stones that once were there, and this continues all the way down, measuring until it goes to Maze How, I believe, measuring the birth and death of the sun. Actually this one goes to the Faroe Isles. Maze How is here, and yeah, but it's very interesting because Tullyallan police station, the line, this dark line here, passes through Alloa, an ancient place for tribes in the law, passes through Menstrie and the Menstrie Hills. It passes through the high mountains, picking up loads of energy, and it passes through St Fillan's and Fortingall, where the old, well, not Fortingall, it passes through Killen and Benloyers and the reservoir near Benloyers, and we're considering the law and the police forces, and it makes its way up through Fort William, through Applecross and up into the Callanish Stones. So our services and authorities and other such officers of duty are not just randomly placed. They don't realise it. I should have followed this line forward, but maybe all of it is too much for people. This line going southeast continues on, and I believe it goes to Whitby. And if anybody has the pie grid map, you'll see that this line here, Skegness, Whitby, and so on. This line is a very important line, and reaches away down into Switzerland, of course. So I'm getting tired now, but I thought let's record this last bit because there's quite a number of lines, energy lines, alignments, ley lines, and if you were to slow down in this, and if I was to come and give a presentation and click on many of these points, for example here the Manning Tower, very important. So there's Sheriff Muir, the Battle of Sheriff Muir, and Slim my back, Turn of Blair, Glen Tarkin St Filians. A lot of important points on this Glen Lyon, and Lyon is to do with the law, the Lord Lyon, the right to bear arms, the right to defend yourself, again taking us back to the law and the jurisdiction and the heavens. So why the Callanish stones, and why Alloa, and why Bo'ness, and why all the way down through Pennycook and through, these are all Templar lands, through the west, the east coast, passing through Durham and Doncaster, over north of Cambridge and down. Why is this? Because this is the bar of heaven. This area here was seen as Hades, or the underworld, hell. Everything beyond this was not safe, and this was the safety, the head, the inner part, and this area around here was touch and go. And as you dip down below the horizon, the North Celestial Pole, the Tree of Heaven, which circulates around this pentagram here, as you dipped below the horizon, you could be controlled by the underworld and the laws of the underworld. Whereas if you looked at nature and looked at the hills and the valleys and the streams and all things that provide for you, and worry not about the things of this world and the material world, but look within your own head, you would see that you are a free being upon the land, a free man, and that no laws other than the laws of the Most High, the laws of Adonai, can pen you in. So I hope this makes a little bit of sense to some people. I am tired now, so it's the end. Don't forget to look up, stay sovereign, keep shining.